I am not black. I mean, that's what the world calls me, but it's not me. I didn't come out of my mother's womb saying, "Hey everybody, I'm black." No, I was taught to be black. And you were taught to call me that, along with whatever you call yourself. It's just a label. See, from birth, the world force feeds us these labels. And eventually, we all swallow them. We digest and accept the labels, never ever doubting them. But there's one problem. Labels are not you, and labels are not me. Labels are just labels. But who we truly are is not skin deep. See, when I drive my car, no one would ever confuse the car for me. Well, when I drive my body, why do you confuse me for my body? It's my body. Get it? Not me. Let me break it down. See, our bodies are just cars that we operate and drive around. The dealership we call society decided to label mine the black edition, yours the Irish or white edition. And with no money down, 0% APR, and no test drive, we were forced to own these cars for the rest of our lives. Forgive me, but I fail to see the logic or pride in defining myself or judging another by the cars we drive. Because who we truly are is found inside. Listen, I'm not here to tell you how science has concluded that genetically we're all mixed and race in the human species doesn't exist, or how every historian knows that race was invented in the 15th century to divide people from each other and it has worked perfectly. No, I'm not here to lecture. I just want to ask one question. Who would you be if the world never gave you a label? Never gave you a box to check? Would you be white, black, Mexican, Asian, Native American, Middle Eastern, Indian? No. We would be one. We would be together. No longer living in the era of calling human beings black people or white people. These labels that will forever blind us from seeing a person for who they are, but instead seeing them through the judgmental, prejudicial, artificial filters of who we think they are. And when you let an artificial label define yourself, then my friend, you have chosen smallness over greatness and minimized yourself, confined and divided yourself from others. And it is an undeniable fact that where there is division, there will be conflict, and conflict starts wars. Therefore, every war has started over labels. It's always us versus them. So the answer to war, racism, sexism, and every other ism is so simple that every politician has missed it. It's the labels. We must rip them off. Isn't it funny how no baby is born racist, yet every baby cries when they hear the cries of another? No matter the gender, culture, or color, proving that deep down we were meant to connect and care for each other. That is our mission, and that is not my opinion. That is the truth in a world that has sold us fiction. Please listen, labels only distort our vision, which is why half of those watching this will dismiss it or feel resistance and conflicted. But just remember, so did the caterpillar before it broke through its shell and became the magnificent butterfly. Well, these labels are our shells, and we must do the same thing so we can finally spread our wings. Human beings were not meant to be slapped with labels like groceries and supermarkets. DNA cannot be regulated by the FDA. We were meant to be free, and only until we remove them all and stop living and thinking so small will we be free to see ourselves and each other for who we truly are.
Didn't y'all just love that? Okay, so last time we talked about the richest path, which is a path if you have a definite purpose or a design, and the penalties path, which is the path of the drifter, or like we like to call it, the path of the floater. So when you are trying to get your design together, you have to eliminate any and all labels that anybody ever wanted to give to you. Growing up as a black person in the United States of America, we are labeled in different ways, and that labeling has come with a lot of brainwashing. Our media has had a lot to do with the way that we think about ourselves. And most floaters, they tend to really not know. Let's check out this clip from the spook that sat beside the door, where you can see that we have been programmed to think bad things about being black. Let's watch it and see what it says.
All the yellow niggas, right? Look, man, I am tired of that. I am not passing. I am black. Do you hear me, man? Do you understand? I am black. I'm a nigga. You understand me?
Try not to laugh.
I was born black. I live black, and I'm gonna die probably because I'm black. Because some cracker that knows I'm black better than you, nigga, is probably gonna put a bullet in the back of my head.
Now, check out the conditioning of Florida Evans when she's talking to her son. Check this out.
Why?
I told her that George Washington was a white racist.
What?
Well, he was, Mama. He owned slaves.
You little squirt. When do you come off calling the father of our country a racist? Where'd you pick up such trash?
In the library. In a book on black history.
Well, you still don't say things like that about George Washington. If you had to insult somebody, you should have played it safe and picked on somebody like Benedict Arnold.
Now, did y'all see that? He told her the man owned slaves, and all she could think about was the brainwashing that he is the father of our nation. But we asked Flo, why, Flo? Why? You don't have to hold on to things just because they were taught to you. Back to how programming has made us think negative about black.
Black, destitute of light, devoid of color, enveloped in darkness, hence utterly dismal or gloomy, as the future looked black.
Pretty good with them words, ain't you?
Soiled with dirt, foul, sullen, hostile, forbidding, as a black day. Foully or outrageously wicked, as black cruelty, indicating disgrace, dishonor, or culpability. And there's others. Black male, black ball, black guard.
Yeah, well, that's something, all right.
Let's look up white. Here. Read.
White, of the color of pure snow, reflecting all the rays of the spectrum, the opposite of black. Free from spot or blemish, innocent, pure. Huh. Ain't this something? Without evil intent, harmless, honest, square dealing, and honorable. Wait a minute, but this was written by white folks, though, right? I mean, this white folks' book.
It sure ain't no black man's book.
So what we reading this one for?
Because the truth is lying there, if you read behind the words.
Things that make you go, hmm.
Damn, get it! Yeah.
You on me for the Peckerwood. Peckerwood will kill me. Be like you killed me. You be putting that rope around my neck yourself. What you think you is, the hound dog? Peckerwood say go fetch, you fetch. You see me hang, you gonna know. You gonna know you kill a black brother. Cicero! Mayhaps I could have got away on beat for you catching me. You remember that. You remember that all day. You killed me. You remember that. You killed me. Niggas like you just prove what the Peckerwoods say. We're just beasts. willing to do anything, kill each other. No mind, no feeling.
Shut up, nigger.
Least why they ain't gonna die like you gonna die, like a slave. I ain't giving no lifetime of misery and sweat to this peckerwood. I'd rather die than be a slave. You peckerwood, that's right. You peckerwoods was oppressed in your own land. We was free, and you brought us here, in chains. But now we here, and you just better know, this is just as much our land as it is yours. And after you hang me, kiss my ass.
The Civil War was a labor dispute that was inevitably tied to American Indian lands. And for this reason, a scheme was devised where the people on the bottom will be able to create a flip-flop that resulted in their eventual rise to the top. More about this in my documentary series called African Americans Are a Big Threat to American Society. But I stated that to say this: our people were always home, even when the Industrial Revolution began. Our ancestors were the ones prospering. We owned the lands, lakes, rivers, businesses, and the banks. And most importantly, we were well aware of how and where to get the resources needed to sustain the continued growth of our success and the success of Turtle Island, aka North America. So, how does an immigrant remove an indigenous person and replace themselves as a permanent resident?
Do you realize that there was an agreement made between our people way before the people without color got here? The black people agreed that they would sacrifice and do the slavery thing for us, or we would have been completely wiped out. We owe them such a debt. Don't be caught up in American racism. They don't want us to unite and be together because they're afraid of that we'll treat them the way they treated us. We're human beings. We could never be that thoughtless, and we don't have to worry about that because from the way things look, they're going to self-destruct. A lot of them are spinning out of control. We're not even going to have to do anything. We might have to put a few of them out of their misery, but...
According to a well-known anthropologist by the name of Margaret Mead, you don't come into a place with an attitude of entitlement, because people generally enjoy when you learn their language and their culture. As long as you come into a place ready to learn and join their society, it's okay. It's very flattering for all people when someone wants to be taught. And also, Margaret Mead stated, quote, "You have to do something pretty terrible to people before they come to regard you as a spy, rather than an interested explorer." And that is exactly what they did when they adopted our ancestors' constitutions and created confederacies that reflected our ancestors' form of government. The Articles of Confederation and Perpetual Union was a set of laws which was used to form the first U.S. government in the year 1777. This was based on the information learned by the foreigners and through Indian relations. Each Indian tribe had its own confederacy and its own constitution, and they had a commander, which was the chief. This form of government allowed for the individual sovereignty of each tribe to take place and not to be imposed upon. It also allowed for trade relations outside of the tribe to take place amongst those who are the heads or chiefs of the tribe or clan. And this is the idea that the 13 colonies took for themselves. They created the Articles of Confederation, not as colonies, but as confederacies.
So if you was ever wondering, how did Native Americans go from being called Native Americans to being called Negro? Now you know. It had a lot to do with that U.S. Census that they want to take every 10 years, in which they let normal, everyday, average folk put down what type of race a person was. Even if a person would
Now, on March 1st, 1790, then President George Washington and Vice President John Adams along with then Speaker of the House, Frederick Muhlenberg, signed the 1790 Census Act. According to the census itself, it states that the 1790 Census Act is a law that, quote, required that every household be visited, that completed census schedules be posted in two of the most public places within each jurisdiction, there to remain for the inspection of all concerned, and that the aggregated amount of each description of persons for every district be transmitted to the president. So let me point out that some households, not all, were visited by these individuals entitled as census enumerators, also known as census takers, who are technically federally government unsupervised employees who allegedly went from town to town, city to city, and door to door, deciding who was of what race, and then documented the families they meet as such. So you mean to tell me that these census takers were provided instructions by way of the government to document and record the ethnic category of various family members based on their perception of the family when they visited, and their opinions were considered to be official historical records of information?
Words can follow us around, chase us down, try to get us, or swallow us whole, affect who we are, who we think we are, the way we see ourselves, how others see us. Words can change us, but when it's this important, shouldn't we be the ones to change them?
Come up with a stage name, this ain't entertainment for the slow and brainless. I ain't gotta come up with some lies about who and why to be rich and black and famous. I'ma tell the truth and nothing but it, even if it's out of my constructed budget. Sin is mad, then I'm winning bad. Get a pen and pad, you gon' like to love it. I'm a copper-colored individual, descendant of the aboriginals. Warrior be that, believe that, I be that. While haters look and sad and pitiful, miserable, they all suffer from the Africa's our home fetish. When that story came for white Jews by the busloads, no Jerome Bettis, you should know better. Researching, not taking somebody else's word for it. Fact is, what a fact is opinionated what you heard for us. His story, how the hell you getting millions of Africans and you come back again? Or crossing Atlantic with 20 to Manning and ran an immaculate. You ain't fooling me, I can read through you little bum actors. That whole slave trade story was told to us as another fear-mongering tactic. They suppressing your growth, decimating your potential to link, quelling us and rising, telling us about us, how we come about it, just make you think.
That's what all of this is about, to make you think. Now, let's talk about a mastermind. This is when two or more people work together in perfect harmony for the attainment of definite purpose. It is time for us to create our own masterminds, to become close to people, individuals who can help us attain our definite purpose while we help them attain their definite purpose. A mastermind could just be two people. You don't need a whole group of people. It says two or more people who are working together, and they have the same goal in mind, and they are a mastermind. Okay, you don't just have one person building something in construction. When you're trying to build a building, you have several people working together, and that's what we want to create. I know you could probably think of right now many examples of people coming together so that they can accomplish a goal. And if you can't think of anything for yourself, then clearly I'm about to give you some examples.
The buses are empty. Why? Because the Negro people aren't riding them. Because one woman, a seamstress, tired after a hard day's work, got fed up with her 40 years of living under Jim Crow. Because one woman said, I have had enough. And suddenly, just like that, 50,000 voices answered, Amen, sister, enough for us too.
Well, maybe I ain't that serious.
Maybe neither am I.
So why you home during the day? Ain't you got a job?
Do me a favor. Leave the ghetto talk outside, all right?
Ghetto talk? I don't talk ghetto.
Ain't you got no job? You use that language to fit in with your friends. Here, you will speak properly or you won't speak at all. Understood?
Yeah. Whatever.
You can leave now.
Excuse me?
I said you can leave.
How come?
Because I don't have time to waste on insolent little girls.
Insolent? I ain't I'm not insolent. It's just the first thing you do is start dogging on, criticizing the way I speak. I thought this was just about spelling words. Well, then fine. You know what? When I put my mind to it, I can memorize anything. And I don't need help from a dictatorial, truculent, supercilious gardener.
Courage isn't just about being brave. It's about overcoming fear and daring to do what is right for your fellow man.
What changed your mind?
God. And Miss Ellie Holbrook.
I'm gonna help with your stories. We all are.
You just try taking away their guns.
All right. Well, what else do they love?
We force our men to negotiate peace by exercising total abstinence. Lock it up! Lock it up! We gonna make sure these fools put down these guns.
I know it seems a bit strange that I use Chirac as an example, but it's a good example. You got these women who came together who had a definite purpose of men putting down the guns and stopping the killings. They used the mastermind philosophy to come together to try to stop the killings in their neighborhood. Yes, it's extreme, but this is what we mean when we say a mastermind. They had a definite purpose that they was trying to accomplish, and watch the movie. You'll see what they did. It's pretty cute, but those are a few examples of people coming together for a definite purpose. All of us to dig deep inside of ourselves, push ourselves to do what we need to do. You have to go that extra mile.
There are absolutely no traffic jams at the Extra Mile. This is the place to be if you want to be successful, if you want to get to your dream. Take that road. Work a little harder than everybody else. Put in a little more time. It'll pay off tenfold. When you're willing to do what other people won't do, you will have what other people don't have. When you go further than everybody else, you are guaranteed to push your success with you further. There's that little part of you that you know you've been holding back. There's something in you that wants to go to the next level. You're ready to step up 100%. Not 50, not 60, not 70, not 80, not even 90%. You are ready to finally give all of you in this process, in this journey, because nothing else is gonna hold up. You know that very well already. You know that the only thing that's gonna get you to where you need to be is giving every single last drop of energy that you have. Every part of you needs to be invested, all in on this one thing to finally push yourself through the limit, through the barriers that you set up for yourself, and finally hit success.
Sometimes you just need to prove something to yourself. Forget about what other people have to say.
Position
What
where
do you
I
have
have to
to
make
say?
decisions. And Mr. Twistle, listen, this is a very important.
I'm sorry. This thing's impossible.
I can do it.
No, you can't. No one can. It's bullshit.
No, I'm pretty sure I can do it.
No, you can't.
Let me see it. Give it here. Oh, oh, wow, you really messed it up. Sorry. It looks like it works around a swivel, so the centerpieces never move. So if it's yellow in the center, that's the yellow side. Right. If it's red in the center, that's the red side. Okay. So you can slow down.
Oh, listen, we can drive around all day, because I don't believe you can do this.
Yeah, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't. I'm telling you, no one can. I'm telling you. See, that's all I ever do. You almost have the sign. Holy cow. Oh, you almost had that one.
I'm gonna get it.
Look at that. You're almost there.
$17.10.
This is me. Good job. Goodbye.
Going the extra mile, people. Sometimes you gotta prove things to yourself and to other people. Don't let nobody think that you a sucker that can't get things done when you know you can get done whatever you need to get done. You just need to have a purpose. Create your design. The law of compensation ensures that everything you do will bring you some sort of result of some kind. You know, that means that if you do something, you're going to get the result of the same kind that you do. You must render the most service that you can with the best mental attitude and really giving it the best that you can. I mean, you got to give it all that you got if you're trying to render the best results. People be half-assing things and really think they're going to get something great out of something that you didn't really put that much into.
And I tell you now that I made a vow, I'm giving you the best that I've got, baby. Yes, I tell you now that I made a vow, I'm giving you the best that I've got.
And that's what I want you to be thinking. Quality of service plus quantity of service plus mental attitude determines the mental space and compensation you will get for the services rendered. Did y'all get that? That's what you're going to get for the services rendered. The quality of service plus the quantity of service determines the mental space and compensation you will get. Okay? And a positive mental attitude is all that it takes to get the things in life that you need. It might seem simple, but it's really not that simple to be positive. Okay? Who cares what others do? You do what you gotta do to go the extra mile. You got to do what you gotta do to be yourself and to be a survivor. Show people that you are in the so if you show people that,
I'm a survivor, I'm not gonna give up, I'm not gonna stop, I'm gonna work harder, I'm a survivor, I'm gonna make it, I'm a survivor, keep on surviving, I'm a survivor, I'm not gonna give up, I'm not gonna stop, I'm gonna work harder, I'm a survivor, I'm gonna make it, I'm a survivor, keep on surviving. But now I'm stronger than yesterday.
That's what you have to be. You have to be stronger and you have to be a survivor. The power of a positive mental attitude can get you way further than you really think and what you really believe. People really out there trying to knock this positive mental attitude revolution that we're trying to have. And I don't understand why anybody would want to walk around being negative Nancy and trying to bring not only themselves down, but everybody else around them. You're never going to get what you want out of life like that. Going the extra mile, you strengthen your ability to do your job well. Having a state of mind focused on providing the best service possible with the best possible attitude. Don't you wish you could just go places and people just are nice and kind? They're just positive. They come at you positively. It would make you want to go back and do business more and be around that person because they have a positive attitude. You will gain not only security in the job, you have the ability to select the work that you want to do because people want to work with you. People want to be around you. You know what you're doing. You put extra in your work. You go the extra mile. You do the extra that it takes for people to know that you really care and you care about your job and you care about where you're going in your life. So don't forget, quality of service plus quantity of service plus mental attitude equals the compensation that you're going to get. Okay? If you have bad quality of service, a bad quantity of service, and a bad mental attitude, you will not be winning, and all we do is win.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there.